Emergency Services Committee and leave.
You wanna wait till I get that resolution?
So, Suzanne, I'm sorry, wait till she brings back the resolution and sign it? Is that okay? Hi, George.
He's a tech guy.
No, the other George. Oh, so many people. George is an athlete.
Yeah, okay.
For somebody who's invested in a new building.
I have to go to
Yeah, I wish I had a car.
You guys were adjourned.
I will forward you the information.
I know it's.
My daughter.
So if anyone that, hey, we gotta keep moving
Thanks for your time, appreciate it. Thanks for your time, appreciate it.
They're getting the resolution because our members have to sign it.
I'll make a motion to approve the May 10th minutes.
Motion by Mr. Miller for the properties. Keep going here to approve the minutes for May 10th, 2024. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Hanson. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Okay, so, if the property committee doesn't mind if we can move number 6 to the top here.
It's fine.
For George with forestry, he's the only one here, there's no reason for him to sit all the way through this. So, good with that, George? Okay, cool. We got, the approval of Wilson Meadow Trail ATV Pavilion request. You fill us in a little bit, George?
When we had our, for those of you who don't know me, I'm George Sisson, the president of the Rusk Club. We have fundraisers and we get maintenance grants, so we take care of the trails and we do everything we can to enhance the experience for ATVers. We have a really nice scenic overlook on the Wilson Meadow Trail, and a couple of the members proposed that we improve that site with a pavilion, a porta potty, there's a memorial bench that will go there and jump the trail. So my understanding is that we need permission by property committee to for us to go ahead with that.
Has anybody been on that trail? Is that what he's talking about? I was just up there this weekend, was right, so.
No.
Very breathtaking view. So it's a good place for it to go. That's just my opinion, I will.
I'll make a motion to approve. There's no cost to the county, right?
No.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Miller to approve the Wilson Meadow Trail Pavilion, is there a second?
I'll second that.
And a second by Mr. Hanson, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries, George.
So that's to go ahead?
Yep,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Well, we're doing something to improve it. That's why I love donuts.
I'm gonna move again in the agenda here, if you guys don't mind. Number 3, Sheriff Jail Police Department, review draft lease agreement and Lady Smith Police Department. Are we good with that? Let's pull number 3 up.
Yeah.
I'll move it here a little bit, we got, no reason for them to sit all the way through this deal.
I apologize, what were you moving to?
Number 3, Sheriff Jail Police Department. The review draft agreement with Lady Smith and Police Department. Thanks for that.
Ashley?
Okay, so at the last meeting, you guys directed me to look into, what we charge the police department, and specifically you asked me to look at maintenance and IT costs. So I did reach out to our facilities manager and our IT director. The feedback I got from IT was that normal IT services should be included in the police department lease, but any equipment or larger projects should probably be billed. And the feedback I got from the facilities manager is that nothing would change in terms of vacuuming, dusting, wiping, cleaning up, maintenance requests, but office garbages are responsibility of person in office. So any comment on that feedback? No? Okay, so what I am looking for is direction. Currently, the police department in base rent pays $13,360 annually, and then there's that receptionist agreement where they pay $7,000 annually for a total of $20,360. From Andy's records, it looks like those rates have been the same since the early 2000s. The last lease agreement that we signed with the police department was 4 years, I believe. So what I'm proposing is a 20% increase in rent for 2025. A one-time 5% increase to include those IT services that you guys had brought up last month, for a total in 2025 of $25,450. Again, they currently pay about $20,360. And then moving forward, a 5% increase after 2025. To account for, our county costs going up, utilities, what have you. I'm also only proposing a 2-year lease instead of a 4-year, just because things can change on both sides. I think a 4-year lease was kind of a long lease last time. Most of our joint management building leases are only a year with an option to extend another year. So I'm looking for direction from you guys, so I can get with Rich to actually put something in writing, and then we can, have a sit down with the chief and Kelly.
Because one of my questions was, they paid, considering half of the secretary at the front desk, right?
So they pay $7,000 for receptionist services.
So my question on that is, it's costing us, probably costing us $40,000-50,000 a year to have that receptionist there.
That's not
Her actual job title is what records?
records retention specialist. And I think possibly, maybe that duties have, since the agreement was put in place in 2001, I think it's not a full receptionist position as the intent was like 25 years ago, 23 years ago. So I think now several people kind of rotate in and out for that coverage.
Any other questions?
So you want approval to proceed to take it to Rich and things like that, and with chief of police, and then it'll come back here if they make any changes?
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a negotiation process. I just need to know if I'm on the right track here, dollars wise.
So, okay, so it was 23. For years on end, right?
Yes, from what I found, the base rent has been $13,360 since at least 2006. I don't know, I only have Andy's.
Probably accurate.
So we haven't adjusted anything.
From what I can see, no.
So we're looking to move it up to 25. I'm trying to read my chickens here.
25,450.
50 in 2025.
Yes.
And a 5% increase after that.
Yep.
On a 2-year lease.
Mhm.
Instead of a 4. Do we feel that's, and I don't wanna sound greedy here, but do we feel that's enough? I'm asking the other members.
Are we not covering the rest of this year then, or not?
This year, we're.
But this year's,
We're
yeah,
contract.
they're
We're
good
already
now,
in
yeah.
contract.
Oh, okay, all right, sorry.
So we start
Um,
in 2025.
So since 2003, essentially, is that what you said? 2006. That's a long time that they, I mean, it's a long time that they have not incurred any increases whatsoever. Yet everything around us is going up daily. So I'm not sure that that's enough, and I'm not sure, maybe 5% the first year. But then I'm thinking possibly if we go forward, I like 2 years, but I think maybe you should instill something in there for the second year, that the increase would be larger to get us more in line with the current cost of living, et cetera.
And I also just wanna point out that the city does allow us to store our ambulance in the fire hall for $1 a year, so just please also keep that in mind.
Can I ask something too?
Oh, yeah.
I can't see her voice, so I'm just gonna stand up here. Mr. Biller last meeting asked what the square footage was for other county buildings. You paid, the enterprise building, what's the other ones that you would have that you, Fritz building, Gates building, Oak Leaf is now one. What is the county charge per square foot for those buildings?
So office space in the enterprise center is $1 a square foot. Storage space ranges anywhere from like 30 to 50 cents a square foot. Oak Leaf's rent is $16.45 a square foot, and ADF is 23 cents a square foot for manufacturing space.
So does the county plan on upping like Oak Leaf then in the next couple of years too, to cover more costs as the years go on, or is that not?
No, we're locked into
No,
a
that's an
5-year.
agreement.
Cause the way I look at it, and I'm just asking, cause I know Mr. Biller brought that up and, it's a good point. Right now, if we pay under 1B on our current agreement, evidence storage and garage, it says 461 feet. I'm not sure if that's a typo or if that's supposed to say square footage. But actually our evidence storage garage where we utilize it's 18 by 12, so that's 216 square feet. So I took the 875 plus the 216 would be 1,091 square foot. So in 2025, we'd be at $23.32 per square foot that we're paying. I don't know what makes us different than the other buildings that you own.
The joint management part of that side of it, them buildings are already way less than they should be in the first place. With that what we got out there.
And I'm not here to argue, I'm just saying, I wanna understand from my police and fire commission, because they're the ones that are gonna make the decision, kind of how we proceed and if we wanna continue where we're at, so.
Is that an annual square footage or a monthly square footage? I think that might
So
have
this
been
would
an
be-
annual, yeah, okay, so all of my numbers were monthly, not annually,
Okay.
just for comparison's sake.
Perfect.
So Oak Leaf's 1645 is a monthly, not annual.
Correct.
And theirs is a triple net lease, so
Correct, where
like
they cover taxes, insurance, and.
Okay.
yeah, so any increase in
Okay.
cost would still be on them.
Fair enough, okay. So, I just wanna understand what you guys want, or what you guys are gonna propose, that way I can bring it to the police and fire commission, because I'm not gonna make this decision, it's not, I'm not just a department head, I'm not gonna be the one that makes the decision with the police and fire, so.
What are some of the other services that nobody realizes that you're utilizing for the city? That, you just went through the tower system, we gotta buy you utilize
Okay,
a system we're buying.
okay, that's fine.
I mean, there's a lot when even using the jail and
There's
everything
a lot
else.
statutorily too that the county has to cover for the city. So don't go that route either sometimes. So statutorily, you have to cover that. So, okay, no, that's fine. I'll bring it to the police and fire commission and, we'll, as long as you're open for negotiations, that's all I ask, so. I know Mr. Kudo, you talked a little bit about that. Maybe we can negotiate some small and then continue on or whatever, so. Okay, thank you.
I don't think it should be, I think what you talking about, like retro making up the past years, I think that's water under the bridge. Just gotta move forward and not.
Right, I don't think we should look at the past either. If it's just, we have to kind of put this in play now and go forward. You know, past is past, and nothing we can move on. I think it's time to bring it up to snuff. Current. Where that should land, I don't think actually is far off the mark. But that's just my opinion. What do you think, Tom?
I think we should go ahead with that Ashley's numbers there, because it's a starting point, and I'm sure it'll be, when they negotiate, it will change some, but it's a good starting point.
Yeah, I agree.
Gary?
Well, I know I'll be hearing about this at another meeting.
I just don't wanna get in the middle of it, because like,
I know.
it's not, it shouldn't be me who gets in the middle of it, but, you know, the ambulance garage is gonna come into play, I can tell you that for free, so. And I don't wanna be between the county and city pissing match and be the
We
one.
don't either, I mean, we got.
I don't think it needs to come to that, so.
Exactly, we got enough of that now, I don't wanna add,
Right.
you know, gas wound in the fire, but I think it's a starting point, we can negotiate hopefully from this point on and
Sure.
keep it, you know, somewhat
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
So, and again, like I said earlier, it's not like we're trying to look at, we're greedy here, we're just trying to bring things at the time,
Sure.
you know, so.
I'll make the motion that the draft lease agreement be taken to corporate council and negotiations take place, or however, whatever you had, you know, written, to move forward with this.
That motion by Mr. Terry Ludwig, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Mr. Biller, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Alright, now, back up to the top. Can you hear us down there, Dan? Can you hear, can you hear us over there?
You got what the other guy could.
Okay, careful now. Recycling fairground trails and reports, Charmaine Riddle, coordinated report including update on outreach violation sites.
Biggest thing in recycling world is clean sweep. I sent you all an email if you can distribute that information. I will be going to highway and possibly looking for a different route for electronics, cause we are accepting free TVs, this year. Most electronics are free, and then talk to the sheriff's department about possibly monitoring traffic, cause even without taking electronics free, we're usually backed up for the first hour to the railroad tracks, so. That's a highway, so if you're gonna come, I know it's county board night, maybe come right before county board, then avoid the lines, or send your stuff with somebody else. But anyway, that's the biggest thing in recycling land. And as for Trails End, we are jam-packed, full with groups this month. James, and Johnny worked on top of the amphitheater, there was a bunch of overgrown things, so a lot got ripped out. Fabric was put down, mulch, and then we purchased a couple of perennial packs from Land and Water that are in there. So that's gonna look super nice. Already booked 2 weddings for 2025 out there, just yesterday. So that's looking great. You're probably all wondering about the swinging bridge. Well, nothing's been done on that because the first bridge is underwater right now. You know, just the way it is.
Nature of the business.
Yes, so that's all that's happening at Trails End, and, the east wing is, starting to get built today, so looks like.
ball fields have been getting extra attention just because there's been a lot of, games going on. Actually, I think 4 games this week or 4 nights this week. We put new top rail protectors on the ball field. We got the scoreboard up, the electronic scoreboard that's been in there in the storage for 30 years probably. We're getting that hooked up. We just gotta get the power, we got the wires run, we just gotta get the power to it. And then they'll be able to electronically run the scoreboard. The log building's got brand new LED lights in it, wiring, on-off switches. The multi-purpose has got 16 new outlets in it with 4 dedicated breakers. I believe everybody wanted it for when they have the weddings for roasters, because the roasters keep on tripping all the breakers and frying and everything. And that, what else here? The fairgrounds,
The fans, we got, a lot of fans going in the multi-purpose barn.
yep, the fans come. I had the guys go out and help James at Trails in there. They loaded up. They cut down like 7 loads of branches with a 20-foot trailer stacked about 6 foot high. And that a lot of that was from the storm, branches that were just hanging from the storm that passed here. And that what else here? Scoreboard, wiring, senior center garage down there. We got we installed a VFD in there. So I was able to snag 2 air compressors from the old hospital before they tore it down, and I actually have one gonna be installed in the senior center garage. The wiring's all in yet. They just got to get a pressure switch and all that set up. We'll have an air compressor. It was probably a $3,000 air compressor from the hospital that we snagged. I snagged 2 of them. We're putting one in the courthouse here. That'll be in shortly too. I guess that's about it. We put that new flagpole up at the historical center there. They did a flag raising, I think, last Saturday. They're very happy with that. It sounds like. Other than that, at East Wing, I see Mike Roach brought the telehandler out there yesterday, so he should be in progress with that. We had to rent the track skidster for a few days to get the multi-purpose cleaned out, just because we didn't have a skidster, and that wedding was going on, so the multi-purpose was half full of stuff that you couldn't lift. I mean, it had to be a skidster or a forklift or something.
And the dairy breakfast is this Saturday, 7 to 11. Come see us.
I would just like to thank Charmaine for training in. We hired Greg. And now I have 3 more people that need training from you, so I'm gonna try and get them combined into one session too. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Start Saturday.
Improvement projects.
What's the process for that?
You brought them last month, didn't you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did
Yeah.
we do those already?
So I don't know, I mean, do you compile them all and then they,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, so we don't have to ask individually for them to be on the agenda?
No, they're all in the plan now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, alright, thank you. Then you can disregard those, we did not know.
Sounds good. Is that it on your side here?
I have a couple things under Gary's.
Okay. Wait till we get down there. Administrative coordinator.
Oh, for just 1 second, in regards to that training, that Terry spoke of, I actually have 2 new people. Is this like recycling training, or is that?
Normally I do site attendant training every 2 years unless there's changes. So I might have to move that up a notch
Okay.
and just do another one this year.
We had a major change.
Otherwise, I can have my guys train with the existing one.
Yeah.
I think that would be satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, I can survey all the sites and see if it's the same people, and if not, do another one.
Brian, I think I told you about, Hagstrom,
I don't remember.
but no, we have another alternate as well.
Okay.
Just hired, so,
Oh, okay, yeah, I don't know about that one.
yeah, but I was gonna say, you know, just.
Okay.
That's down here. Oh. Fairground
I'm sorry to interrupt
report. So
you.
yeah, the fairground report is fairground updates, I guess, is that Jesse?
You got anything for an update for the fairgrounds?
Nope. They kinda covered everything up here. Administrative report.
Okay, so the draft RFP went out in the packet. I do believe that there will be local interest in this parcel, so I didn't want the RFP to be prohibitive to like a smaller business or something like that, so I really toned it down from what we asked for with the hospital. I guess I'm just looking for your feedback on it, and also especially the purchase price. So I took the estimated fair market value off of the tax data, and that's what that number is.
That's
This deadline, the same as for the hospital one?
No, it's kicked out like a month and a half. That's also, again, that's just my proposed timeline. If you
Oh,
please change
deadline
it,
for questions.
change it as you see fit. Yes, yeah, you're right, Terry, yes it is.
What is it, 2 acres?
What's that?
How many acres is that?
I think so, yeah,
2?
I think so.
I don't recall if I've seen it up there.
So, where's the purchase price?
Do you want me to add that under site data?
Yeah, you should put the acreage in that. Just double checking here. I read it last night, read it again this morning, quickly, but I don't recall I've seen it in there.
Okay, I'll make sure it's in there. Yeah, it's 2.072 acres.
Yeah, we should list that.
2.72.
2.072.
Just barely over.
So are you putting the $203,100 as the price?
No.
No, that's for you guys to decide. I
Oh,
just
okay.
put in the estimated fair market value. You guys decide.
Alright, what's everyone's train of thought here? Property. What's that, right, 203, is it, remember?
200.
203, maybe,
That sounds good to me.
okay.
What was that?
Start out with the 203 and
Okay.
Yep.
So kind of
They
hold that
can
as
either
like a
come in
minimum.
higher, they might come in higher because they know other people are interested, so.
Mhm.
Depends on what they wanna use it for.
Right, yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the RFP.
we, the HR manager is in a meeting right now, are you okay if we delay that?
Yeah, we can push that to,
Thank you. Okay, so I emailed that out to you guys Wednesday, I think. So the thought process behind a capital improvement plan, I kind of, laid it out in the introduction, is that the county realizes that planning for larger capital improvement projects is important rather than just reacting on kind of like a crisis basis. So I sent out the sheets at the very end to all of the department heads and asked them to complete them and send them back. All of these went through their respective oversight committees and now they're here at property. So the plan provides planning and analysis of both short and long range capital needs. And the process is supposed to allow for fiscal review and prioritization. So basically we put in front of you all of the needs throughout the county and leave it up to you guys to determine which needs you think need to be addressed now, which needs can be addressed in the future, and then how we are going to plan to budget for that or in some cases bond. So the 5-year plan shows forecast expenditures of just under $59 million, with about $32 million of that scheduled in 2025. The majority of this plan calls for repair and replacement of equipment and infrastructure, with approximately $42 million in additional asset purchases planned for the county by the end of 2029. And a huge part of that is the jail project. So the highlights, of course, are the jail project, which is coming in at an estimated $38.5 million. Another large cost is highway equipment. So we recognize that putting our equipment on a routine replacement schedule will help maintain efficient operations and give safe working conditions to our employees. I spoke with Justin, so in my plan, I said here, equipment replaced on an 8, 9, or 10-year rotation. I spoke with Justin out at the shop, and he said that each piece of equipment is so different, it's hard to give a blanket amount. So, a replacement schedule for a grader is not gonna be the same as a replacement schedule for one of our dump trucks. A lot of the equipment also goes based off of hours in usage, and some of the equipment gets a lot of hours depending on like the weather that we have that year, and some doesn't get quite as much. But any kind of a replacement schedule is better than none. And then the third highlight would be facility maintenance. So the county does have aging facilities that continue to require maintenance and costly repairs. Our maintenance department is constantly trying to fix things. So investing in renovations and upgrades will allow us to possibly be more energy efficient when we're talking about kind of HVAC things, and could result in a drop in utility costs. Also, hopefully and ideally, it would be less time invested by the maintenance department if we had newer equipment and infrastructure. So, getting to how to finance the capital improvement plan, Rusk County has recently been operating on a strategy to bond for $3 million every other year for capital needs, which does include highway projects. In 2023, the decision was made in 2022 not to bond in 2023 because we were anticipating a larger borrowing in 24 or 25. Current capital projects, which include design phase of the jail and highway paving, are being funded by the general fund, and just remember that we have that reimbursement resolution in place, so when we do finally bond, we can pay our general fund back. That was the thought process of doing the reimbursement resolution and then opting not to bond in 2023. The second paragraph under financing the capital improvement plan is like a hypothetical paragraph. I wrote that anticipating that the jail project is approved next week at finance and forwarded to the board. So that's just, I had to write the plan expecting that would happen, but again, that whole paragraph there is in the future. So departments again submitted their proposed sources of revenue to fund these future projects. The funding sources include tax levy, geodebt, department fund balance, grants, and fees. A lot of our departments are able to bring in significant grants, for instance, like our forestry department. Some departments also charge fees. One example of that would be our land and water zoning, land information department. So in terms of long-range planning, I do have in here that it is the recommendation of administration that moving forward, the board allocate a portion of excess unassigned general fund balance annually to the capital improvement project fund to provide an ongoing funding source for these much needed projects and equipment purchases. And again, the reason behind that is that it seems as if the county has been operating more on a crisis basis, so reactive instead of proactive. And a lot of times when we get into these situations, the only option, as we're kind of facing right now, is to bond. So if we can start planning to allocate some of our surplus, some of that excess fund balance directly into our capital improvement fund, then we would have some money sitting there in case of these things that might arise. Then the next couple pages are just a summary. I broke down, so not every department has capital needs. I just wanna be clear on that as well. So like Register of Deeds, Treasurer, Clerk's Office, Finance, they don't have capital needs. It's mainly gonna be public safety, obviously public works in terms of highway, buildings and grounds, and then forestry and land conservation. So the first page is the summary of the proposed expenditures, and then all of the expenditures do have a funding source, so then how to pay for it is underneath there. And then it breaks down into, so public safety includes ambulance and the sheriff's office. Then we have highway, buildings and grounds included the fair grounds, the maintenance department, and Trout's End. Forestry and land conservation is self-explanatory, and then general government. The circuit court has a couple projects they're looking at a few years down the road, and then of course IT as well with some of those bigger purchases. So again, looking for direction, obviously all of our big capital projects eventually will come through the property committee. I think if you look at the sheets that the department submitted, it might be a little bit eye-opening, all of the equipment needs that are sitting out there. And I do wanna reiterate, when I sent this email out to the departments, I think back in March, this isn't a wish list. It was very sternly said that this isn't just something you throw out there and hope you get it. These are things that we need to continue to operate the county efficiently and make sure that our staff has safe equipment. Highway, you'll see on there, this was Sean, he sent this to me before he left. Emily obviously now is our interim commissioner, but she agreed with the same projects. A lot of those are funded, through LRIP and things like that, so there's a grant funding available for those, but they are looking at a couple bigger equipment purchases. In fact, they have the loader in 2026 for about $400,000, but that has come to the forefront now, so we'll be actually talking about that Monday at Highway. And then Sean really wants to get the plow trucks on a replacement schedule. Several departments are asking for upgraded vehicles. We have a lot of rust issues with our fleet, especially the pickup trucks that are going out into the woods and, kind of getting, it's rough out there, right? So they take a lot of wear and tear. Well, several departments are asking for vehicles. I think maintenance is asking for a vehicle, LandCon is asking for a couple vehicles. So does anyone have any questions on, first of all, the strategy? The goal of having a plan in place is that, again, we don't react, we're proactive. Also putting things on a replacement schedule will help us out, because when we go to trade something in or sell it, there's actually some value left in it. The problem we're facing at the highway shop is that when Eric or Justin or Andy are trying to sell something, it's basically scrap value, because we have let it go so far. So even if we sell 10 pieces of equipment, we probably don't even have enough to buy one new piece of equipment.
I gotta ask, when you buy this equipment, they don't know how the county does it, but I'm sure they'll find out. Are you buying somebody else's problems, or are you buying brand new?
Historically, we have bought somebody else's problems.
You know, and that's why your problems come quicker. Is we can't expect to buy a whole fleet brand new. We should be able to buy something, and then keep rotating that out as you go down the line, and by the time you need the first one, your last one will have been purchased already.
Yeah,
So all you're doing is buying somebody else's trucks.
right.
Granted, it costs a lot more, but they last a lot longer.
That was a practice in the past, Dan, and yes, we actually have some of them misfit problems that we bought. So that's part of the problem, why we're in the problem we're in, because we bought somebody else's problem. But that was done before you, I, or anybody else did it, but yeah, now we have to cure the problem somehow. Obviously, there's no easy answer.
We've been working on it for 5 years now, new truck. Takes almost 2 years to get a truck now.
Yeah. But if we keep them in the system, hopefully should be able to catch up.
And then one last thing I wanted to point out on the summary page, so if you look at the bottom line, what the total amount that the departments are asking for, you can see so after the jail project and the tower project fall off in 2027, the numbers for 28 and 29 are dropping down to 2 or 3 million. So I just wanna reiterate, and you can talk to the finance director about this as well. We can't probably give every department everything that they want, but if we're still within that 3 million every other year for capital projects, this is feasible. This is a doable plan.
And not all of this could or would be funded with geo debt. I mean, pretty much all of those IT projects, even though they're listed under the geo debt, we can't bond for that. And same thing goes with, some of the other projects, if they don't meet the truly definition of a capital project, if it's not new equipment, you can't borrow for something that's not gonna at least last as long as the life of whatever you're modeling.
Or for operating expenses, you can't.
Right, which is most of what the IT ones are mostly operating expenses.
Well, I think one of the important things is on page 3, at the bottom there, long-range planning. This will be reviewed every year and changed and need, because I know some things that some departments probably need aren't even on here. And so this is to identify ongoing funding sources and, like I say, be reviewed every year and adapted to the needs, because they may change.
Yes,
I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, and I think the plan would be to review it every year around this time before budget season. So you guys are aware of what your departments need and can hopefully work that into departmental budgets.
Alright, so we had a tour highway last week. One of the major needs out there is a building that's gonna be significant. That was never even put into a plan.
No, we talked to Justin about that. Within 8 to 10 years, he will feel comfortable bonding for another significant project. So the highway shop is in the 10-year plan.
10 year, yeah, but within that 10 years, we're probably gonna be spending over $1 million, 2 million on new roofs out there. We got 3 buildings that are leaking.
If we need a roof, we need a roof. I don't know what to say to that.
Well, right, and Jerry's soft coat for
Yeah.
here.
And there's major needs out there, and Monday will probably come out with just the turnover we had over there in the last couple of years, different managers and everything. It's just been dropped a lot, but it's gonna be a significant amount out there that we need to spend on buildings.
Well, and I guess the point of the plan is to, sometimes the county looks at things in an all or nothing way, we can only help the sheriff or we can only help highway. But the point of this plan is to show you guys is that we can help several departments and do it in a fiscally responsible way.
So in 2027, you got 7 million allotted for it, so to speak.
Yep.
On the highway.
Yes.
What are we buying?
It's in the, so flip to the back. So a lot of that is a road project. So County M.
So roads, makes sense.
Yep, but if you look, Sean identified that 4.5 million of that is coming from grants.
Okay, so that makes better sense. I guess I'm a question too about the highway. The highway doesn't have enough. I mean, we're looking at just equipment only. We haven't said nothing about buildings out there.
Well, that's, okay, I'm working with what I was
I know,
supplied by
yeah,
the department.
and I get it, but I'm agreeing with Jerry here is, in 8 to 10 years, we possibly can look at building something, if it makes it that far.
Well, again, I'm working off information I have, and the Wolf
I know.
study said jail 1, highway 2.
I don't disagree with the plan. Plans, I mean, I agree with the fact we have to have something in play to be proactive here, to keep us from getting back against the wall like we are right now. And again, it was done before I got here. Why nobody thought of it before that 15, 20 years ago is not my fault. But I gotta sit here and make the hard decisions now, so everybody can, get pissed off at us. That's the reality of it right now.
Yeah, no, I fully understand the spot that you guys are in, but I think the plan will actually help. 'Cause
Having a plan is better than no plan.
right, and I heard a couple comments at the last highway meeting that some people seemingly had no idea how bad things were out there. This, I think, helps you understand what challenges our departments are facing, and if you look through what each department head is asking for, like vehicles are topping the list in several departments.
And I don't disagree. I get it. I really get it. I think we all get it. But the problem is, we're gonna be the people that are gonna sit on the hook because we have to make this decision to spend this kind of money. Because it should have been in plan 20 years ago. Again, not my fault, but I'll make the decision. Yes, Gary?
I guess I just got a few things to say about, what was talked about here. With regards to Jerry there on the roof there, I was up there with a maintenance guy, 2 weeks ago, and we fixed, 2 or 3 leaks, but, there's multiple leaks up there. And that, so I mean,
But
that's,
that ain't gonna last another 8 to 10 years.
no, I mean, you need a separate building somewhere else, or next to it, or whatever, my opinion. And that, I agree with these CIPs. I mean, these should have been done on a regular basis. I mean, that's great that it's getting done now, and the plan they have in place is great, but that should have been done years ago. And that, I mean, it's just common sense. I don't know if you guys got in front of you, I just wanna let you guys know the airport is not on there, so that's gonna be an additional $5 million for 5 years. And that, granted, it's not gonna be a whole $5 million, cause the state and federal kicks in money, but there's still gonna be a cost to that, just so you're aware, the airports will be on there also.
So what are you looking for us on it, to approve this and push it forward?
Mm-hmm. Yep, and then also that last sentence in the long-range planning.
And this is great, this is great for being proactive instead of reactive. I've been saying it for 2 years. And that, you can't be reactive. I mean, you're gonna be that much behind on everything. Money's just gonna get to you. When you have to be reactive, you're gonna spend hundreds of thousands of dollars.
So, I'm looking for what the property committee's thoughts are on my recommendation that the board allocate a portion of excess general fund annually to the CIP.
And the question will be, what portion?
Exactly. Or what do we do in a year that's
Or
not so
how
great?
much?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
can't you just put it in there subject to change based on the year?
Yes, I guess, okay, maybe more so looking for a commitment from you guys to show the staff, to show the public that this is a priority. So if we make this plan and we just kind of set it somewhere and we don't start funding our capital fund, it doesn't do any good.
I get it, they pass something, throw it in the corner, and don't look right at it.
And then this way, people stop looking at the finance director to say, find me money.
I would say, out of the last probably 10 vehicles I sent to auction, you get $500 for them, if that. Some of them got 3,000, but a lot of them had cracked frames. I mean, what would happen if somebody got in an accident with a cracked frame?
Did highway, I know this has been talked about, but did highway ever put in a car washing thing or a truck washing unit out there?
It's still being talked about, Terry, because it's such a big investment, and they just don't know which way we're gonna go here yet.
I think a hot power washer would be great. I mean, pick up a hot power washer for $3,000 and you just gotta take a little extra time. I mean, that's what we do. Same with highway. I mean, they can do the same thing. They probably have a hot power washer.
We got 3 of them.
Is your intention with this CIP then, for these, whatever monies would be set aside, are they gonna be dedicated monies?
Yes, dedicated to the capital improvement project, so then, but then this committee would still, you would go through line by line and say, okay, we only have, like, let's say we only have 800,000, but the ask is $1 million, then you guys are gonna need to pick and choose how you allocate that money.
Right, I guess what I was driving at was that, once those money, I know how sometimes, you route from Peter to give to Paul, et cetera, so these funds that would be dedicated to this CIP program, would they just remain there solely for the purpose of these improvements? And they would not be dipped into to do something else, if an emergency came up or something like that?
Right, do you wanna give an overview of the capital fund as you know it?
Yeah, so historically, most of the funding in the capital projects fund has come from bonding. But what I would kind of envision with this is, when we do our year-end budget transfers and budget amendment, that we would include a transfer from the general fund into the capital projects fund balance to utilize for these types of projects. So that when we do work on the budget, not all of that funding, for all the capital projects would have to come from bond proceeds.
Yep, exactly, yep.
I agree 100% with Sean at highway there on that rotation. I think, what did you say, 8-year rotation? But I think.
That was out of the top of my head, yeah.
I think I've said it to probably all you guys already, but I think it should be even less than that. Because when you rotate something, you wanna get money back from your investment. And even 8 years is a long time for stuff to go wrong. I would say at least a 4 to 5 year, 3 to 5 year. And that's how you keep good new stuff.
Well, we have to start somewhere.
You gotta start somewhere, exactly. Like I said, that CIP should have been on a regular basis, and that should have been started years ago.
So you want a motion to,
Forward to the county board with whatever this committee's recommendation is.
Did it already went through finance?
What's that?
Already went through finance?
The capital improvement project, no, because you guys really have the jurisdiction over capital projects. Ultimately, all of the, pulling out of funds would go through finance. Each individual project would go through finance anyways. can send it there if you would like, Jerry, because finance is next week. We'll just be here till midnight.
Midnight.
I think it's a decent plan, it's just.
Well, we have fair grandstand upgrades, that's already been done, right?
What's that?
Fair grandstand upgrades, that's already been done.
The ramps, all the ramps going up there.
Push this forward right now, so.
Is it the finance or the board?
Whatever Jerry wants.
Yeah, Jerry, leave the go for.
Yeah.
In my opinion,
And
I
what
don't know that
garage he has in 2026.
he plans on paying for that out of his own, out of fund balance, not
Yeah.
borrowing for that, out of the ambulance funds. I don't know that now is the, to take this, it's gonna go to full county board anyway. We're not really asking for any money specifically to be allocated right at this moment, so I personally think that it should go from here to the county board.
I was not planning on.
Approve the plan.
Right.
To start doing this in 2025.
Yeah, and then in the future, I think that finance would propose to county board the amount to transfer in the year-end budget closeouts.
Well, we got a cap on what things you wanna keep in that.
We wanna.
You could send a recommendation if you wanted to. And your recommendation could just be what I wrote, that finance committee determines some portion of unassigned fund balance to be assigned or to be reassigned to
Okay,
the.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, so is there, can we get a motion to push this to county board?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Wentworth, is there a second? I'll second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Carries.
It would be a certain amount or a percentage.
It would be a certain amount, if you got that listed correct.
Yeah, it just allocates some portion of it.
Some portion.
Yeah, so whether finance is comfortable 1 year with 50,000 or 500,000, I think it'll depend how the,
We'll have to play out on other years.
Yep. exactly.
And once
Yep.
that money's gone,
Is there any
Right, I
surplus
mean,
to
because like
begin
this
with?
last year, we did budget for a deficit.
Peter, oh,
Yeah.
if the rules stay in play.
But this would kind of be part of budgeting
Be a
for that deficit,
certain-
We'd be budgeting to utilize that fund balance, like that's why.
Fixed amount
Yeah.
each year.
Sheriff's thing. Buildings and grounds. You good, right?
I guess just an update on stuff, since the last month, multiple AC units, needed attention and service. The courthouse had 2 of them, a few other buildings, had 5 of them. The clinic had 1 of them. A lot of toilet and plumbing repairs, since all the repairs out here, all the manganese that stirs up in the pipes, then it comes through and clogs everything up, and we gotta take everything apart and make sure it works, or it's working, otherwise they stick wide open. Kinda what happened at, the hospital when you guys got that huge water bill. The clinic is still leaking pretty bad on the roof there. We check it every day. We got 3 dehumidifiers going in there. I bet you 15 gallons a day we're taking for water out, and then plus we gotta suck the water off the carpet and haul it out, so we probably got another 20, 30 gallons there. And so every time it rains, we're doing that. But the dehumidifiers are on constantly.
Can we look at, have anybody look at repairing it?
I was told not to, we're selling it.
Who told you not to?
Pretty straightforward.
Ashley,
What's that?
the roof's leaking and you, what are you doing, Winona? Yeah, all eyes are on you right now. Giving all the sugar goodies.
What was the question?
The roof on the medicals.
The old clinic.
When did I tell you not to fix it?
When I asked you.
I don't recall that ever happening. Why would I tell you not to fix an asset?
We need to look at getting estimates of fixing it.
Again,
Yes.
We need to do, we don't wanna.
I brought it to everybody's attention many times here.
Oh, I don't recall that. I would disagree with that.
Okay, here nor there, we're not gonna argue all day long about this, whether it is or isn't. Get some estimates, Gary, please, see what it takes to fix it, thank you.
I will, that's what we wanna do, that's what we've been wanting to do. I met with, Margaret Johnson for the third floor restrooms, reason I reached out to them is cause they're the ones that did the last construction of the building. And that in, I think 95 or whatever. So, they're gonna give me some budget numbers for that. And that, we got, just like I said, plumbing repairs throughout, the jail. I mean, we're up in the jail constantly during the week. I mean, we usually get 2 or 3 maintenance requests every day pretty much to go up to the jail. Yeah. You know, they're doing the repairs out on the street there. They just poured some concrete on the sidewalk, the stuff they tore up. I told you guys in the past here, that all this concrete here is gonna have to get ripped up and re-poured. We're planning on doing that, this year yet. Over on the south side there, that ramp and concrete over there, it's a very bad trip hazard.
Yay.
And that for the employees, and that, actually, I've seen employees roll their ankle and fall there quite a bit. I'm gonna just go back to the fair, I guess, just so everybody's aware, there's a active bear on the fairgrounds there. The last wedding there, the group was good, they bagged up all their garbage, put all their garbage out on the outside. When we got there Monday morning, there was 20 bags scattered throughout the fairgrounds, so we had to pick it all up, and so we picked it all up, threw it in the dumpster. Then the next day, the bear had it all out of the dumpster.
Oh my gosh.
Well, they gotta eat too.
I didn't say, the arenas are all tilled and dragged out there. We had new summer help start, I think on the 5th, we had 3 of them. They're mowing lawn, doing whatever, little labor stuff. Obviously it's been raining like crazy, so we gotta pick and choose when we get out there and mow. So, a lot more to mow this year. That's gonna reflect on my approved batwing mower purchase here coming up. We mowed the old hospital yesterday. I had a couple guys go out there and just knock it down. We put flags up kind of where kind of the hazards were. We must have about 15 flags up. I mean, it's not horrible, but Haas is still gotta come back in there and tune up the low spots and where it kind of eroded. But it's not horrible. I mean, they come in with probably a track skidster and some fill and reseed it. I'd be more than happy to approve them. I think they got $25,000 left to be paid in that. I think that project went very, very well for quick for what they did, I guess. I guess, anything else? A lot of the other stuff is all joint management stuff, that I have, anybody else have anything that they would like to ask of me, or?
I was curious, in regards to the hospital site, the old hospital site.
Yep.
Can you go ahead and get them there to correct those issues, or?
Well, they were waiting because it's been so wet, and the grass was growing so good, they didn't wanna go in there and disturb everything. So I think they'll be probably
So
going.
they're aware that
They're
there are
aware
some
of it.
issues.
Me and Jerry went out with Daryl Haas, and talked to him, and they'll get out there, it's just, they didn't wanna make the problem worse than what it was.
Alright, what do you got for, Fairground North bathroom clarification?
I never put that on there, so I don't know.
I don't know what that is either. Huh? Did you, or who put it on? Okay, approval.
Well, it got sent to,
Guys are killing me. We
it got sent to.
Oh, yeah,
To finance for funding.
Yeah,
And then finance started asking more property issues and sent it back, right? Is that right?
Yeah, okay, you have to go back to finance. Remember that meeting? You guys want clarification?
Bathroom, more clarification, need the money to pay for it.
Forget what they were talking about other options. Well, can you do this? Can you do that? I don't remember.
I think it was, and.
Okay, you know what, push it to next month. And we'll discuss it then. I don't remember exactly what it was.
I can look back if you want me to.
If you look back quickly, please.
Well, while she's doing that, can we talk about the chiller?
Yes, we can talk about the chiller. Is it
All right,
cold?
it's up on screen, emergency repair. It's over the 1,500, right? So,
Yep.
I was called on it. So
Yep.
Go ahead, Gary.
So, we started up the chiller, and it run for a day, and then it shut down, and a lot of people complaining it was too hot and everything, so I had the service guy come in and he hooked his computer up to it, and he was able to keep it running with his computer, but the touchscreen actually runs it, and that was a vital part of it, otherwise you'd have to leave his laptop hooked up to it all the time, so I guess emergency fix, we got it taken care of, I called, John right away, and everything's up and running, nobody's, complaining about it being too hot, too much, I don't think, right now.
Whatever, Tom.
I'll make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve the chiller. Touchscreen. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Dan Goodes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
got what you need, Connie?
Find it or no? I will move on to the bat wing.
Well, the minutes just from the finance, the discussion held on waiting for the budgeting process to put out RFPs for the Fairgrounds North bathrooms.
Right, and I'm pretty sure some of it was stick built. It could be stick built, it could be.
Okay, so I think the question was, actually, now that I think about this here, the question was, is the classification, or the clarification of it was, is we've gotten state plans, correct, Gary?
Correct.
And the question is why do we have to go necessarily buy them state plans, and or can we do the stick built part of it? Does that sound familiar?
I thought that the cause we brought that resolution forward to utilize, to allocate fund balance now so that they could move forward with the RFP.
Correct.
And the committee did not want to, they wanted to do it with a normal 2025 budget process and not. But I thought they had more questions, but Gary wasn't there to answer them, so they just sent it back here.
Stick built, I think.
I don't even know if they did send it back here, but they just.
They did, cause I'm pretty sure I put it on.
So I think the question was on the stick built.
I do too.
part. Can we get a quote on stick built part of it?
Or is it gonna mess up the ironwood?
Or how is that gonna change things?
It'll be a whole new state drawings probably, I think. I'll have to, I guess I'll have to talk to him. He responded back, I told all you guys that, he said that it would probably jeopardize, compromise your integrity to do that. I mean, it wouldn't be much cheaper. But from what I was told, I thought that I was told by you guys was that it was scheduled for 2025, and they keep keep the old one open, fix the old one up. That's what I thought.
That is the consensus.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. That's kind of what was decided.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Well, we'll have to
It's okay,
table it till next month, so we can
Yeah.
figure out what we're doing.
yeah, that's good. Thank you. There you go. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're on to the approval of the bat wing.
From,
Red,
no, I mean, where do you want, what
Lake
budget?
Smith Heating.
Okay, from what?
Oh, courthouse.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Batwing, you guys told me this has been ongoing for quite a while here. And I believe you told me to get, I had quotes for you guys all before, a long time ago, but, I got 3 more quotes for you guys, cause that's what you asked for. I got, one from Baraboo Implement for a 12-foot Batwing. It was $29,701. With, government discounts, it was $25,500. And that one will be a minimum of 25 horsepower, which that would work for ours. Then I got one from, Soderski Equipment. Soderski Equipment was $17,620 with the government discounts. That would work for ours, 25 horse to 60 horse. And then I got one from Tractor Central. With the government discounts, it was $18,200. That one's rated for 55 horse or more, which that one wouldn't work for ours.
Would it?
It wouldn't. The Soderski one is a Woods, that's the lowest one. That's a Woods, that's the, probably brand I would prefer to go with, but, I guess it's up to you on, 17,620 or 25,500.
We have that in the equipment budget?
I wasn't consulted on a funding source on this at all, I assumed it was gonna come out of their budget, but I didn't know, is it budgeted?
No,
Okay.
I would say it's a necessity with all the extra land that we have to mow now. And it was a necessity even before.
One thing, Gary, if you can, when you say you brought it to all of us, you gotta remember this committee's changed, so
When I say all of you, I say mean property.
well, right, but there's new members on here, so we haven't seen these numbers, so, and if you brought it in the past, these are numbers we haven't seen, so, you gotta kinda, help us here a little bit, because we don't know what, but.
We had it budgeted for 2025, but then last month I had told to get, Reedy has to get quotes on it. It is a time saving. It's gotta do what, 5 acres of the hospital we're mowing now?
Yeah, and all of that.
Well, all of that, cause you got that parking lot across the road that we didn't have to mow before.
Yeah.
We got highway, where we added a bunch to that. This will cut their time in lawn mowing for a lot. That's what I'm saying, I was in the equipment fund.
651 would work good.
That one would work great. That's the one I would recommend.
No, I don't think there's enough in their budget for our equipment.
So there is about a little over 71,000 in the equipment fund.
So I'll make a motion to approve the Soderski quote. And come out of the equipment budget.
A motion by Mr. Miller, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Wagwag to approve the,
Soderski.
Woods mower.
How long would bring you to get it?
17,600, right?
17,620.
620, for 17,620. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign.
He said it was in stock at the factory, so.
Motion carries.
Couple weeks.
From the equipment fund?
Yep.
Does that mean he can order it, or does this have to go yet to finance now?
The finance committee has oversight over the equipment budget, so I think I'd have to go to finance, yeah.
So, and forward to finance?
Oh my God, you guys kidding me?
I don't remember doing that before.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm looking at
How does
that
this
budget
play
because
into
the oversight, the overseeing committee of that equipment fund is finance. So,
Finance meeting
next week.
next week.
Can we take it out of my budget right now so I can order it and then, reimburse me with,
Do you have it in your
Well,
budget?
if you have it in your budget, why are we taking out?
I don't have it in my budget.
No.
But can I?
No.
But it has to go to finance.
I would think so, I mean, I haven't,
If that committee has jurisdiction over that budget, then yes.
Okay, so does the
Well,
motion,
general fund, they have to play with that.
does the motion have to?
Is it property my oversight?
Yours, but not that budget, where you're getting the money.
Does the motion have to include it, be referred to the finance?
That would be appreciated, yes.
Alright, you can amend the motion to send it, property approves it, recommending that finance take it out of the equipment fund.
Okay.
Forward to finance.
I that's what I've got, and forward to finance, that's what it is.
Other, all in favor of what was said there? Say aye. Aye. No, opposed, same sign. Wow, this is getting a lot of work. Send it from committee to committee to committee. This is just fast, man.
So I told all these guys that I would get back to them on the 7th, because that's when the property committee was gonna be, I believe, last. And then,
No, no,
so I told them the 14th. When's finance?
that's,
Oh, so it's not too bad.
no, they should be all right. Airport, oh wait, we don't need to do the capital improvement thing, right?
Nope.
Okay, so that takes us to airport.
Airport, we got, I got Syntec, they programmed, Pro Keys for RC Aviation, about 3 weeks ago or whatever. So RC Aviation's got their own Pro Key, cause they use a little more fuel. They've been using credit cards, and I had to turn the credit cards down, cause a lot of times, some of the credit cards would get charged, would get charged, couple thousands of dollars. It wouldn't go off their cards for a few days. So I adjusted it down to $300. I solved a lot of problems with the small general aviation pilots, but not the big guys that get a lot of jet fuel, and when they buy 1,000 or 1,500 gallons, they don't like to have to re-swipe their card every time, you know?
How do we solve it?
What's that?
What do we do to solve it?
So I did solve it with, RC Aviation, they were the main ones. They got a pro key, basically like county's got all the county vehicles got a plastic key, that's pretty much what that is. Before they used to have a supervisor card, which was the same exact thing, just different thing. Tentatively, I have, crack seal and coating, the main runway. I got it scheduled for DOA's got it kind of scheduled hopefully for July, August. We have the airport, fly-in coming up here, this weekend, and, airplane ride the following weekend. The AWAS system, that's in place for 2025. That's the weather system, but, they said they possibly might do it the tail end of the year, just because, I've been complaining about it quite a bit, and, it's in need, it's very outdated. Land acquisition, that I started on that about a year ago, maybe longer. That's in the works. That probably won't happen until 2025, but, it could all of a sudden just happen, 2024. That crack seal project, like I said, that probably could have started a little sooner, but I wanted to wait on, 2 fly-ins that we got. And that was supposed to, I think that was supposed to start 2 or 3 years ago. And that, so I mean, that's how far everything's been lagged up and that, so, you know, same with like the snow removal equipment that we just got, last winter. I mean, that was just so far, nobody followed up on it, nobody did anything with it. And that, I finally got it to come. And that, the septic repair, I got a hold of Dave Thompson, he's gonna come out and check on it. I actually just checked it yesterday morning, and it was about a foot from the buzzer, so, and you can tell water's coming in somewhere. It's minimal, but water's coming in somewhere. I don't know if it's coming in just from the leaky gasket or something, or if it's a crack in the tank or what, but, he's gonna bring his camera, I think, and check it out, and hopefully, he did say he's been there multiple times in the past years, because I think when they originally built the terminal, then they built that shop afterwards, they tied that shop drain into the septic, and he's like, you know, every year that frost will move quarter inch, or not quarter inch to half inch, and if it does it over multiple years, you know, just say it does it over 5 years, I mean, a half inch, that's 2.5 inches, so. Yep. And that, other than that, we have one hangar open yet out there. What's that? One hangar open up out there, I mean, the airport, I mean, the state, DOA and the FAA federal, I mean, they give the airport a lot of money. I mean, that snow removal, that loader that I got was a $300,000 loader. And then I think we paid less than $10,000 for it. And all the projects that I got scheduled out there, I mean, we're gonna pay minimal, but, you know, there is a upkeep to everything out there. And that whole old area out there, I mean, them are all old buildings. I mean, which we don't have to maintain them because they're privately owned, but you gotta keep access to them, right? And the state will pay for a lot of the main runway, but they're not gonna pay for a lot of the secondary runway. And, so I mean, anything else leading up to the hangars and stuff, that's the county's responsibility. That's the reason why we signed a sponsorship with them, which that's in progress here. In progress to re-sign. I just had an email sent on new sponsorship here from them. We'll have to sign, so I'll have to get John will probably have to get it to you if I think the deadline on it was July 18th, so I guess unless we'll probably have another copy before that, probably, huh?
Yeah, we should. I think so. It's an obligation for them anyway.
And I know Jamie sent me over a form there from 2022 or whatever, I think it was, right? For the AIP or whatever that you sent over.
Oh,
for
I need to know what what's been spent on that.
Where did you get that from? I've never seen that one before.
It came from the airport manager.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen it before. I see the notes all on the side, must be from you. And that's the first time I've ever seen it, so, I don't know what you're talking about, but I did get an email back just recently. I'll have to look at it when we get out of this meeting from the DOA that I reached out to. And then, but, I did see it's an AIP on it, what AIP is an airport improvement plan.
Oh, okay.
So that's what that is, and I've been in the works doing that airport improvement plan and a CIP with the state and federal. And that's all in the process of getting redone, and that ties into that sponsorship. So if we don't sign these sponsorship papers, like I was telling you before, we got a $300,000 loader, we paid like $10,000, we ain't gonna get that stuff anymore. I mean, all the maintenance, all the other stuff that entails, all that grant money we get, or all that free money we get, that in the past has been neglected, and it's just gone.
Okay. Alright, does that conclude airport?
Yeah, for the most part, unless you guys got anything that you wanna hit me up on.
Maybe not, anybody else? Alright, sales right on fast forestry, number 7, insurance counting cars. Review with insurance company.
So I emailed you guys the report, if you have paper copies, if anybody wants a paper copy, but I emailed those out earlier this week. I think they'll have-
I looked through it on my email, so.
The what?
I already looked at it through my email. There's nothing, no new changes, nothing.
No, we'll get the
Nothing real different.
insurance entries in before our next meeting, so that'll be in here too, but.
Any other questions for Danny? If not, we're moving on. IT. IT department update report.
Sure. Alright, so, actually, I just got back from the visitor center. Got those guys connected, back to us now with the new firewall. Same thing we did with the airports, highway, and animal shelter, they're all connected back to us again. What that's gonna allow us to do is, instead of paying separate bills for phones and everything like that, it'll all come back through into our system here. And then also same thing too is with the internet usage and stuff, they'll all come back, through our main firewall here. We've had, kind of get attest to this, we've had a bunch of open records requests again that have taken some time. I'm sure she's sure of that, but, and then also one of the other bigger projects that we've been working on is the multi-factor authentication. I had sent out an email on it. We're knocking down most of the people that need, this done. Been trying to do it, by departments and floors. Yesterday we just finished off all the dispatchers and jailers, so that's working out well. That was something that's kind of sprung on us, we weren't really expecting or budgeted for, but we were able to do it. I wanna say, I don't remember what the numbers were, Gary, but I think we did 2 separate purchases on that. One was like $700 some, and the other 1,200 maybe? So I mean, it's fairly cheap as far as that goes. But then that'll get us, with multi-factor authentication, that'll also get us so we're, much more secure than where we were. As far as email, and Microsoft is gonna continue to build off of that, and keep going as far as, using that as security. But other than that, I guess, I don't know if anyone has any questions, any concerns, anything else?
Anybody, questions, concerns, comments?
Well, I know I have to bring in a key fob or FIDO, and they said they would look at it and see if that would work.
Yep.
I saw Neil and he was explaining all this, and I've got to get VPN put back on mine after you took it off.
Yeah, when we did the firewall change,
Yep.
yeah, we went through different manufacturers, so the original one we had on there just doesn't work for anyone, so, yeah. And as far as the key goes, yeah, just stop in. If it's already a FIDO, I think, if it's a FIDO 2, shouldn't be an issue.
Right, but it could be,
Just the one?
don't know, but they said they could figure it out.
Yeah, we'll take care of one.
One thing I know is multi-factor authentication there, it's kind of a pain in it, bugs. I mean, at first it was a pain, now you guys kinda got it, but.
Yeah, it's, yeah, like you said, it wasn't something we were prepared for. Microsoft kinda just threw it at us real quick and says, okay, you've got, a couple weeks, good luck. They haven't really given a whole lot of direction at all on it, which is unfortunate. Because like I said, I'm sure all of the other governments that are going through it too, are probably, kinda just piecemealing it through until they're done too.
We thought a lot of people would use we thought more people would use their personal phones, but that was not the case.
A lot of people did, but yeah, not as many as we thought.
Any other questions, comments? All right, thank you, sir. Next, approval county issued cell phone for county board chairman. Motion by Mr. Miller, second by Mr. Whiteway. To approve the county board chairman phone. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Don't have to do the CRP on that one. I wanna bounce to number 8, IT here yet. On the back of the page. Approved county issue cell phone for economic development tourism item, or interim, sorry.
Can I just clarify, so she doesn't need,
I just talked to her.
yeah, okay, good. She just needs it to take pictures and record video, which she's doing on her personal phone right now.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Miller,
Second.
second by Mr. Hanson, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay, back to the credit card invoice entry policy and compliance.
I have not seen any updates since last month.
Meaning,
There are currently still 20 invoices that have not been entered in, and 18 of them are from month of April and prior.
all, gosh, nobody got a comment to that, huh? Are these all in IT?
The ones that are specifically, yes.
What's being done to address that?
It's just when you get time, you do them. It's been just quite busy. It's not it's not one of the fires that's going, so typically it's always one of those things like, okay, as soon as I get this done, I'll do that. As soon as I get this done, I'll do that. We actually had Wednesday and Thursday set aside just to do nothing but invoices, but that got stepped on by other projects that came in above it that needed to be done immediately. And those were all done last night as well. So what it is, I mean, I think Gary's come up with a solution in the past, kind of been overlooked. We didn't have the issue when Charmaine was taking care of the invoices and stuff like that for us. Honestly, I think we should go back to it. I think we're still paying part of her salary, 5%. I don't know if we still are.
I don't know if it is now. but it
No,
was.
not anymore. Okay. But it's just a time issue. That's all it is.
I know you guys are pretty busy up there, but so are several other departments.
Yeah,
So
there are a lot.
I can't go along with you as this is an excuse.
Oh, it's
type
not
of
an
thing.
excuse. They're just straight up not
So,
done.
I don't know how to fix the problem for you or help you fix the problem.
What we can do is we can just say, okay, you know, we pick a day or time, and just, anyone that wants help that day, we don't help them, we just do nothing.
You may have to do that, Bugs.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that's.
You're gonna have to put your own foot down of saying, you know what, Wednesdays are for bills.
Yep,
Period.
that's probably where it's at, honestly.
So I guess that's truthfully what you're gonna have to do.
Okay.
And people can get by with it between Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for the stuff that they want from you. So again, you choose, I'm just throwing an example.
Yeah, no, I completely understand.
Go with that route, pick a day, run with it, see where we can get things caught up,
And this is,
and then talk to us next month and see where we're at.
I anticipate they'll all be caught up today. Like I said, I wanted to do it on Wednesday to start with, and Thursday was kind of my secondary day. Didn't happen.
Can all three of you do that?
No.
Or it's just,
can't put three people on doing something like that, I mean,
That's a waste.
it's a waste, it's a waste to have the
Yeah,
IT
but you-
director do.
Well, who's ordering this stuff?
do that.
I am,
Okay, so most of these are Amazon, when you order
Yeah.
something from Amazon, you can download an order summary right away and just put that in.
But the thing is you gotta get the product before you do it. I mean, you've been saying that for a long time, Jamie. There's a lot of times, I mean, I order more stuff than probably anybody in this courthouse. And there's a lot of times that it doesn't come here. I mean, they don't show up.
Right, but that charge still hits your credit card.
Okay, so we're gonna get off into another play field there, that's not where we're going. Try what we just talked about, bugs. See this next month, see where we're at.
okay.
You're gonna have to get stern with your schedule to make what works for you. And I'm sorry, the rest of the courthouse might have to wait a day. It is what it is.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
We will do that, John, and that's what we had planned for Wednesday and Thursday, it's just other fires kinda.
I know, unless it's an absolute emergency,
Yeah, I know.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, let's just try it, see where we go from there. And that's the best I can say. I mean, this has been an ongoing thing ever since I've been on this committee now, and then some, but, you know.
Well, the one you guys were told about last month,
Well, no, that was something else.
Okay, I was gonna say, 'cause she misspoke, because the one that she gave as an example, they've been paid 2 or 3 months prior to that. So, you know, if that number's right, it probably is, cause we do order quite a bit from Amazon and some other places. So 18 may easily be, you know, correct, but like I said, I would anticipate by the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm fine, let's just do what we just mentioned and see where we go from there.
One thing that I wouldn't mind just adding, is that, you know, we had recommended stuff to personnel, the last personnel committee meeting. And I know, John, you weren't on there very long because you took over, but, you know, we had the fixes that would have fixed it, solved it, and it just was, they overlooked it, and they didn't proceed with what we know would have worked.
I get it, I hear you, but that's, so that's just the best about it.
Yep, I agree with you 100%, I think Bugs does too.
Just go with that and put that to bed and be done with this right now. Otherwise, I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I gotta hit you up about the phone.
Yep, we'll talk in a bit.
Okay. Any other questions? Sir?
Any other questions? Thanks, Bud.
Good.
Okay, we're gonna go back up to that one. Back up to number 2B, relocation of administration and human resource offices. So apparently last meeting it was thrown in my court to go check these out and see where we were gonna go with this. And I walked around the courthouse, I've gotten several ideas, but I still ended up with that south end up there where extension is, the first 2 offices. Which allows a door, this door will be closed, and then a wall, which would still allow the extension agent to come back around by Charmaine if need be. So leave that other door open. But it would completely put a wall for these two to have their own in and outs at the door. Do you see, do you follow? Or see what I'm saying? Here, yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying, Terry? I keep forgetting about you down there, Dan.
No, I'm listening.
Huh?
I'm listening.
Okay. Got any questions? So that's kinda where I landed. Yep. Sure. Motion by Mr. Bowen. Second by Mr. Lee, second by Mr. Hanson. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Yes, Mr. Mayor.
agree with putting them, I know you're putting a wall up there, but I don't agree with putting them right there unless you're gonna have the sound barrier stuff off and all that, I mean.
I knew you were coming at me with this already here.
I don't, just let me talk here for a second. I just don't agree with number 2 standalone jobs. They need to do it standalone jobs.
I hear you. Okay. Did I say all in favor, aye? Okay.
Court reporter room up on the 3rd floor would be a perfect HR office.
Motion's been done here. I'm sorry, but it's already been done. Approval of report bills. Motion by Mr. Biller, is there a second? Second by Mr. Hanson to approve report bills, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried, or opposed say sign. Motion carries to pay the bills. Set the next date. Next date for the meeting is, well, okay, so I was gonna actually talk to you guys about this. Do you guys have any objections to moving this meeting, or this whole committee meeting, to the first Wednesday of the month? Permanently? Instead of on this Fridays? Pardon?
You already talked to me and I said I'm fine with that.
Right, I talked to you about it, Terry. I reached out to Mr. Hanson.
Morning or afternoon?
Morning, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I go with 8:30, but
Well, you got coffee collection there?
keep it the same time as we have now.
We changed that, like, what, last year? If you want, okay, I'll split the difference.
It doesn't matter.
8:30, we'll go 8:30.
Go 6.
I go forward, somebody's up at that time. We went with 8 because Jerry likes 8, but if I move it in 8 o'clock.
But the next meeting then will be July 3rd, the day before July 4th.
Okay, so then would we leave it from that Friday the 12th again? Just leave this one ride the same as where we're at now, but then move from the future on to the first Wednesday of the month?
See, we'll leave the next meeting all same time as this one, and then move it after that.
Okay.
Just right before the 4th.
Right, right. Is everybody, are you all good with that?
You wanna go at 8 o'clock?
Pardon?
It would be in 12 to 8 o'clock.
Yep, July 12th, we'll leave it the same, and then from that point on, we'll move it to the first Wednesday of the month at 8 o'clock. From that point on, so it'd be August, actually, would be the first meeting for the first Wednesday of the month, which would be the 7th. So, just to give you an idea. correct, Jared. Everybody good with that?
8 o'clock?
Yep.
On the 12th?
Yep.
Alright.
We're gonna keep this one the same.
Yep.
Let's see. Otherwise, like, we're ready to adjourn, right? Have a motion by Mr. Miller to adjourn, second? Second. Second by Mr. Hanson, all in favor, aye? Aye. We are, opposed, same side, we're adjourned.
11:07.
Yep.